Hello, everyone. Welcome to Good Film Hunting, a podcast about an average couple who are on the hunt for some good movies. In today's world, we are consuming more media than ever, perhaps more passively than ever. But we believe that by documenting and discussing the media we intake, how and what we intake will change for the better. It is important that we don't just become another consumer, but a participant, seeking to engage with the media we consume, so that we can see how our view of the world affects how we perceive it, and how it affects how we perceive the world. In this podcast, we are not only on the hunt for some good movies, but on the hunt for a good discussion. So, lean in, participate, and enjoy. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Good Film Hunting. James Scott here, as always, along with my lovely wife, Savannah. Say hi to the wonderful audience, Savannah.
Hi, wonderful audience.
Hi, wonderful audience. I've got something I'm going to spring on you last minute, out of the blue, unexpected. Give me a 5-minute review of A Walk to Remember.
Oh.
Go.
Am I allowed to spoil it?
Yes, this is a spoiler-filled conversation of A Walk to Remember. If you haven't seen A Walk to Remember and want to see it, don't listen. But if you don't care, then listen.
So, A Walk to Remember is a teen romance movie based off of the Nicholas Sparks novel.
Okay.
And
who's this Nicholas Sparks?
He's an author. He wrote The Notebook.
Okay.
Along with several others that have also been adapted into movies.
Okay.
It was about a guy who was bad, a bad boy.
A bad boy?
Who fell in love with a church girl. Who...
Yes.
Made him a better person. But then in a sad twist of events, a sad twist of fate, she has cancer.
Oh, man.
But they love each other, and so they get married, and then she dies. And that's what the movie was about, and as far as my thoughts go on the movie, I feel like it was okay. It was just okay. I feel like there were a lot of plot holes. We didn't get a very emotional high in that movie. There was a part where we felt like we were maybe gonna cry, but then it stopped, and then never picked back up again. So we didn't really get tears. We didn't really get too many laughs.
No.
We cringed a couple times.
Yeah.
I did feel things. My heart did skip a few beats.
Just a few.
Because I'm a simple girl. But all in all, I thought it was fairly disappointing. But again, don't regret watching it because again, it was a love story.
Ah, yes.
And I'm a sucker for those, so I would say I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
Yeah.
3 out of 5 total? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, tonight we're not reviewing A Walk to Remember in depth, which, by the way, fun fact, A Walk to Remember, the movie, the title has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
I know.
Which is very bizarre. Maybe if enough people want us to, they're really into it, we could always do an in-depth review of A Walk to Remember later on. But we're going to do an in-depth review of A Walk to Remember or Yesterday from 2019. And I don't know if I feel like I have more things I could say that are not as positive about A Walk to Remember. So maybe it's good we're not doing that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I still think we should watch The Notebook.
Notebook?
One day,
maybe one of these days.
I think we should review that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, we are in depth. We're talking about Yesterday because we're living in the past.
I know.
We'd rather review Yesterday and talk about, why...
What happened
yesterday. All right. So if you're listening in for the first time, I'm going to run down the episode structure. This will be a spoiler-filled conversation pretty much from beginning to end. We'll be a little lighter on the spoilers towards the beginning, but we'll get heavier as the conversation goes on. So I've got a list of facts for Savannah about the movie that she may or may not know. We'll give our general thoughts on the movie. If we have a history with the movie, we'll tell each other about it. We'll talk about our favorite moment of the movie. We'll go through our rating system with 4 categories that we rate on a scale of 1 to 5. we'll give our overall rating and opinion at the end, and we'll move on to our next movie. Not tonight, obviously, because it's late, but some other time. So, Savannah, you ready for some facts about yesterday?
Yes.
So yesterday, the sun came up at, I want to say like 6:30?
It was like 78 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Too
pretty
warm. Too
yeah,
warm.
too warm.
No, but not all seriousness. Yesterday was released June 28th, 2019 in the United States and United Kingdom as a runtime of 116 minutes. It was distributed by Universal.
That's a pretty short movie.
Really?
116?
Yeah,
That's not even 2 hours.
it's true. Yeah, it's not.
I feel
That's
like-
right. It was like an hour and a 40-ish minutes, right?
Well,
Yeah, 'cause we
106
watched
it's
the whole thing.
116 minutes.
Yeah.
120 minutes is 2 hours, so that's
Almost.
1 hour and 56 minutes.
Ah, there you go. We sat down and watched it all the way through. So, obviously it wasn't that long.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that long. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It felt longer, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. We can go into that later. It had a budget of somewhere between 26 million and 41.3 million. I'm not sure how they lose track of these numbers. Because that's a pretty big difference.
No. Wait, hold on. What were they again?
Between 26 million and 41.3
Oh, yeah, that is quite a discrepancy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It had a box office of 154.6 million, so pretty good. Pretty good. It was directed by Danny Boyle, who's a British director, and he hasn't done anything that we've heard about before, seen before. The film features, go ahead and say it because I'm going to butcher it.
Hamish Patel.
Yes, that guy, whose name I definitely won't butcher if I say it, as Jack Malik, the main protagonist of the film. The only thing we've seen him in would be Tenet. You probably wouldn't remember him.
I know, I saw that you had Tenet and Enola Holmes 2 down. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have no recollection of it whatsoever in either of those.
Well, we haven't seen Enola Holmes too.
Oh,
We
yeah,
probably
we have.
never will. No, just the first one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We weren't impressed enough with the first one to go on to this second one. I remember when the announcement was made that. Say it for me.
Hamish
Hamish
Patel.
Patel
Hamish Patel.
was going to be in Tenet. People were kind of like not sure what to think about it because he had just been in a comedy yesterday. And Tenet's not a comedy.
Oh, is this the last? Was this the movie that he was in before he was in?
Yeah,
Tenet?
right
Oh,
before.
interesting.
Yep.
I always forget Tenet's as new as it is.
2020, yeah. It also stars Lily James as Ellie Appleton, which is, kind of an interesting name. She was obviously in Downton Abbey, Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella, and your favorite, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I have seen all of those.
I have seen all those. It also stars Ed Sheeran as Ed Sheeran.
I feel like we have a lot to say about that.
Yeah. It also has Kate McKinnon as Deborah Hammer. She was in SNL from 2012 to 2022. So she was with them for a decade. That's pretty impressive.
She seems like that kind of person.
Yeah. I felt like she probably would be better there
I've really
than...
never seen SNL. I feel like I've seen like one SNL
I've seen a
skit,
few. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not so good.
but I feel like she's very obviously someone who would be in that.
And she was obviously in Barbie. She was Weird Barbie. She
Obviously.
was prepping for that in this one a little bit, with her stretching scenes. So for the production for this one, Yesterday began as a 2012 screenplay called Cover Version by the American writer Jack Barth, who'd been struggling to sell screenplays for decades, as in 40 years. So, that's not good. He conceived this story when it occurred to him that if Star Wars had not been created and he conceived it, he would not be able to sell it. It's like, okay, all right. In Barth's script, Meditation on Professional Disappointment, Jack did not find success with the Beatles song. So this was back in 2012. How?
He's like, it's taken me 40 years to sell a screenplay, so I'm going to write a disappointing movie about how no one can do anything.
Yeah. The script eventually made its way to Richard Curtis, who kind of rewrote the screenplay, but took credit for himself, and Barth accused him of stealing the idea and not giving him any credit. But Richard Curtis tried defending himself, saying that he'd never read the screenplay, and he only took like a couple inspirations, like the Harry Potter joke, and what was it? John Lennon becoming a wizened fisherman. So apparently he was familiar enough with the script to like take some elements, which I feel like we're delving into what do you call it? The Social Network territory.
No.
Oh, I didn't steal it. I just.
Yeah, I'm curious how the copyright laws with that work.
Yeah.
Because, like, with recipes, you can take anybody's recipe and just rewrite the instructions and claim it as your own.
It's true. But also, Jack Barth, who wrote it, said this about said this script was trying to reflect Curtis's own career, which was the polar opposite to his own. But yeah, he kind of like, in a cruel twist of irony, turned it into the complete opposite.
Yeah, how rude.
I know. I'm not entirely sure how Richard Curtis dropped out of directing it, but eventually he did. And it was just Danny Boyd who directed it. But the two were going to do it together. But then Danny Boyd took over. Sorry, not Boyd, Boyle. And originally, the movie was actually going to be set in the 1960s or 70s, following a struggling musician who thinks he's the only person who remembers the Beatles. So, kind of similar.
But weren't the Beatles, like, invented in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah, maybe a little beforehand. I'm not entirely sure why they decided. But then they obviously moved it up. Hamish?
Hamish.
Hamish.
It's Hamish.
Hamish.
Yeah.
Hamish Patel.
Hamish. Yeah, because it sounds like Hamish Patel.
Hamish Patel.
Hamish Patel.
Hamish Patel. Hamish Patel, when they were doing auditions, he got cast after they heard his cover of Back in the USSR. They heard it and went, this is the guy. This is the guy to cast.
I find his voice interesting.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't consider him a particularly brilliant or dynamic singer at all. But, like, somehow it works for the songs in this movie. But, like, I don't know if I'd really, like, vibe to him if I just, like, listen to him sing his own songs. Yeah.
Okay. But Patel does play his own guitar and does piano himself, so that's pretty good.
That is good. I respect it.
There was a estimated cost of $10 million to get the rights for the Beatles songs in this movie. So that's a good, well, depending on whether it's 26 million or 41.3 million.
I know, that could be the difference.
I'm going to guess on the higher end just because of that alone.
I know, and also the fact that they had Ed Sheeran in the movie.
It's true. So apparently, there was another love interest in the original screenplay and shoot of the movie. And in the promotional material, they even had this other love interest, which I guess was played by Andy Armas.
Wait, so like in the like trailers and stuff?
Yep.
So like we could look up a trailer and see different.
Probably, yeah.
Huh, we should do that.
But apparently it was too much of a distraction, made Jack less sympathetic to general audiences during the early test screenings.
Because no one has two love interests at once.
Yeah, no one. And so they decided to remove her, but people were very ticked off that they did that and tried suing the crew of the movie. It didn't ultimately fall through.
That's dramatic.
But it was very like, okay. But yeah, they completely cut her, kind of like they cut MJ from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Did they do that?
Yeah. She was a character that they cast. They shot scenes with her, and they completely removed her.
Oh. I mean, sometimes it do be that way.
It's true. Except this one had more dramatic, responses because they, had promotional material.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they're like, hey, you can't do that.
But I mean, like, I don't know.
It's
People
true.
are dramatic. They
It's
barely
true.
showed the other lady.
It's true. Yeah.
But that does seem, whatever.
Anyway, those are all the facts that I've got for you. So, what were your general thoughts?
So my general thoughts on this movie. I thought it was fun. I don't know. I thought it was enjoyable. I liked it. I thought it was good in a lot of ways. I thought there were certain things I didn't love, but it was just a funny movie. It was fun. Like, I like a good lighthearted comedy that doesn't, like, make me feel really sad or anxious or creeped out.
Yeah.
I know that's not your preferred genre.
I like comedies. I mean, I like most genres. You know, A Walk to Remember, maybe not, but
I don't know. I don't think I'd necessarily watch A Walk to Remember again. But I would watch this one again. I think it would be fun to watch with, like, our families or something, so we could, like, laugh.
yeah.
There's some funny stuff. But yeah, I would say I generally thought it was a good movie, and I thought it was fun. I've been vibing to the music, the soundtrack.
Well, there you go.
Although I feel like a fraud because I don't really like the Beatles versions of these songs, but I do like Hamish Patel's versions.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a vibe.
It was vibe.
Watching the trailer made me want to watch it again.
Did it really?
Yes.
I remember hearing about this movie when it first came out. And then obviously people made a big deal out of the lead actor being in Tenet, just because tonally the two were so different. He didn't have a very big role in Tenet.
So much so that I have absolutely no... I mean, I've seen Tenet once, but, like...
Yeah. And it's a very big movie, too.
It is, but I feel like my photographic memory would have come through for me, but, like, I'm not recognizing his face at all.
He was there during the plane heist scene.
Do you remember that because you remember, or because you, like, looked it up?
No, I've seen it. I've seen Tenet a few times now.
I don't even remember the plane heist scene.
They drove a plane into the airport.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, sorry. I've only seen it once. And it's my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Sad. What was I saying? I thought the premise sounded funny, but just didn't ever think I'd watch it. And then lo and behold, we spontaneously like, let's watch a movie.
I know, because, like, I was scrolling through the flicks. And I saw, like, I watched the, like, when you mouse over it and it shows you a clip from the movie, and I watched it, I'm like, that sounds funny. But, like, I doubt we'd ever watch that, because we don't just watch these kind of movies, and then you were like, let's watch
5
it.
hours later.
I know.
Hey, let's watch this movie. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. It was very British. It was very... Very,
quirky.
Yeah, very Aardman.
Yeah.
It's just so... I don't know. There's a very quirkiness to British movies. Paddington falls into that category, too. It's just very awkward. Everyone's really awkward and just stands around glancing at each other awkward and then says something awkward. And it's amusing to me. I think, yeah, this was entertaining. Was it a great movie? Was it a masterpiece? Was it excellent? I wouldn't give it any of those categories. I wouldn't give it, a gold star. But it was fun for what it was, and it's a good... it's definitely a good, like you said, kind of family movie for the most part. There are a couple things in there, maybe not for younger audiences. But yeah, it's just... fun, and if you go into that mindset, totally enjoyable. Even as a comedy, I felt like there were some things that didn't work out as well as they could have.
Oh, really?
Maybe some jokes that didn't land. I was not a fan of Kate McKinnon's character in this at all.
Weird Barbie.
Yeah. She almost didn't fit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran showed up in this. He kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, that was super weird. That was really awkward. That did add to the awkward vibes, though.
It's true, but, like, almost too much. Like, I wasn't thrilled with it personally, but...
Well, like I said, as we were watching it or after we watched it, I think the reason they chose him to be there was because he probably was the top artist as this movie was being filmed.
Oh, I'm sure.
So like,
But like,
but
then there were
a
like,
celebrity comes into a movie like John Legend in La La Land, except he wasn't John Legend.
no, he wasn't John Legend. He was just a character.
Just a guy.
Yeah.
And he was a fairly decent actor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ed Sheeran should not quit his
just...
day job.
And there's that weird thing of like, if Ed Sheeran himself, I don't know, maybe he's a huge fan of the Beatles. Maybe everybody knows him as being a huge fan of the Beatles, the biggest fan of the Beatles there are, and he says the Beatles are, the best ever. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something we didn't know and just couldn't connect with. So maybe him like having that one-off with Jack would have meant something more if we'd known that, because like he doesn't know who the Beatles are in the movie, but like in real life, he's their biggest fan kind of thing, which would be like, oh, that's so cool kind of thing. Whereas I guess not knowing that knowledge, it just became this really awkward like, well, music's kind of subjective, so like, I mean, what are we trying to imply here? That the Beatles are universally, like, objectively the best?
I know, like, bring, hello, hi, this is Ed Sheeran. I'm gonna show up at your house. And
I heard a few of your songs.
I watched you on YouTube and found your phone number in the yellow pages.
So anyway, that's kind of going into writing. But yeah, that was good. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it with you. I don't regret seeing it. Did you have a favorite moment of the movie?
Not really. I just feel like, I spent most of the movie and I still don't really love the main character. Like, I didn't really connect with him that much emotionally.
Yeah.
I just found him kind of weird and somewhat annoying. But I did like this part where he's like, I think my favorite scene was probably that scene where he like gets the new guitar and plays the song for them, because he's like, great song for a great guitar. Then he like plays it and he's like, the Beatles, and like that like weird voice that he has, and everyone's like super confused, and he's just like, he has that like look of absolute just like oblivion on his face all the time. And like I said, he reminds me of Russell Brand. Like, they sound and look very similar to me. Obviously there are some distinct differences, but like, I just like his British confusion that he had the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that scene.
My favorite moment was definitely when he was trying to figure out Eleanor Rigby, which is a plot thread they did not continue, by the way. We'll go into that in writing.
The Let It Be scene was funny too.
It's true.
Leave him be.
Leave it be.
He's about to play his new song. Leave him be. That was funny. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, when he was trying to figure out Eleanor Rigby, and it was like doing a montage of like the characters doing the different things as he was playing with words, and there was that clip with Father Mackenzie and like the socks and socks. I don't know, the way that was shot and like the way the guy was like smiling while taking care of the socks, just. Something about it tickled me.
That was funny.
I thought it was funny.
Also, this movie, now that I'm thinking about it more, reminds me of now you can edit this out if I'm mispronouncing it. Isn't it like, it's like Tiki Wakiki or whatever?
Tiki Wakiki? What? Taika Waititi.
Tata Wakiki.
Taika, oh my goodness. Tiki Waititi. No. No, I thought about that a bit. Taika Waititi.
Sorry. Taika Waititi?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, I just know that there's a lot of Edie's and Wahitis in his name. I don't know. That's what he gets for having that name. But no, it reminded me of that. Kind of the vibes.
It's true.
Awkward, weird vibes. Although his movies he's a New Zealander.
It's
so
true.
It's a little different. But like, last night in the middle of the night, I had Ricky Baker stuck in my head. And I was just like, she did a really good job playing that weird little piano while singing it at the same time.
That is a funny movie.
I know.
Hunt for the Wilder People. You should watch it. Yeah, I thought that too while watching it. I felt like, what was it, Nacho Libre? We kind of said was like, it feels like it could be, the Taika Waititi vibes, but like it's not as,
Unhinged.
unhinged and maybe not as paced as well. Whereas this one was a lot closer. But yeah. Cheeky Waititi. You'll get it one day.
I know. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, so we're going into our rating system. We've got 4 categories, so we'll rate on a scale of 1 to 5. This will be a very spoiler-heavy conversation going from here on out. The 4 categories we've got will be entertainment, overall production quality, the writing, as well as content. So Savannah, on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give this for entertainment?
I don't remember, I don't know if I'm looking back on this movie with rose-colored glasses. But
You did just watch the trailer.
I did just watch the trailer. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't bored. Mm-hmm. So I would give it a 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not that I was...
Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner.
I know. Not that I was, on the edge of my seat or whatever, but, it didn't bore me.
Mm.
It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Had some laughs. Had some heart
laughs.
feelings.
It did.
So I would give it a 5.
Give it a 5?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Did I cringe maybe a couple times? Oh, probably.
Yeah.
There were a couple cringy moments, no doubt.
Just a few. I would give this a 4. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. I felt like I did get bored as we got closer to the end.
I feel like it did drag a tiny bit.
It did drag a bit, yeah. And it kind of, especially towards the end, it became less funny and was trying to delve more into some serious questions about Jack's situation and predicament. But to me, it never really fully explored those to the point where I was like, yeah, that's interesting. And it honestly just kind of started getting more and more corny, and I just kind of lost my entertainment a bit. But yeah, I felt that the first 2/3 were very good, and the last third was kind of, it was fun still. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as strong in my opinion. What would you give this for overall production quality? Acting, cinematography, production, set design, costumes, music in this case.
I thought it was visually good. I thought the acting was pretty decent. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was believable. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I felt like the worst actor was Himesh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of the main characters.
Okay.
But he wasn't bad, obviously. But, I felt he was one of the less good. His parents weren't the best.
Although they were very awkward.
They were really awkward, and I guess they were supposed to be that way. But yeah, liked the music a lot. Was a vibe. I'd say the only acting, no, just kidding, Ed Sheeran was the worst actor. Sorry. By far. I would say I'd give it a 4. Mm-hmm. That was pretty decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine overall. The music was good, but everything else was just mid-tier in my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't outstanding.
Yeah, personally, I'd probably give it a 3. Yeah, there was nothing quite about it that would, maybe except for the music, that would want me to give it a 4. None of the acting stood out enough for me to be that was an amazing performance.
Yeah.
The cinematography was fine. The set designs were fine. The costume choices were very interesting and bold.
No, I did like the colors.
They were very poppy. It was very Easter-like. Jack's very primary color T-shirts at random times were very stark, you could say.
It's true.
Yeah, there's just nothing about production quality really stood out to me, but I don't know if that's what this film was trying to do. So I'd give it a 3. It was good overall. I love a good score. I can't say the score really stood out to me very much in this. So, granted, scores are something that I feel like one has to see maybe multiple times to really appreciate.
Maybe.
But nobody's watching this for the score. They're watching it for the Beatles.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. What would you give this for writing?
I felt like we got a decent idea of Ellie's feelings for him
Yeah.
since childhood. So yeah, I felt like their relationship was fairly decently fleshed out. I can't think of like any major plot holes. You said that there's like that one plot thread that you feel like wasn't followed.
Yeah, the Eleanor Rigby one. The reason I say that is because they bring it up at least 2 times. And it seems like it's going to be, for some reason, the way I interpreted it was that it had some very significant role.
Yeah,
and he
because
just
at
couldn't
the end,
remember
when
it.
they got married,
Yeah.
like she was like part of it
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
Maybe.
No, because like Ellie, like instead of Eleanor
Mhm.
being there, like she had been, it was Ellie.
Yeah.
But like Eleanor Rigby's life has nothing to do with Ellie's life.
Yeah. Yeah, it just was a weird thing that I felt like they were setting up, and I was curious to know where they were going to go, but then it didn't follow through, and they just kind of dropped it, and they were done. Like, so he remembered every other Beatles song, except he just couldn't get this one right, and it's not like he even had a moment of like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Did he not ever?
No, like they never came back to it.
Oh, weird.
As far as I know, maybe I missed it. Maybe it was
I know. I
something.
guess now that you mentioned it, it's not in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like you can't listen
Yeah.
to his version.
And they did have some very funny jokes with it, but he even went traveling to try and get inspired to remember what the song was. And they still didn't follow through with it. Like he went back to his home and through wherever it was the song that inspired the song, so he could try and remember it, and it just didn't come through.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very odd.
I guess I'd give this movie a 4 for writing.
Yeah.
That was, it was fine. Or maybe a 3. 3.5.
3.5.
Because it was okay. Like, him going to Hollywood was kind of not confusing, but, like, I didn't feel like that was super well fleshed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably I'd give it a 3.5.
3.5. I'll just give it a 3. I thought it was fine. There was that one thing I mentioned plot-wise. There was the whole Ed Sheeran thing, which we've already delved into. Him just kind of calling out of the blue, hey, I saw you on, the show. I thought you were really good. I'm just going to show up at your house. We're going to have too long of a sequence of us trying to communicate while your dad is, navigating around us in the kitchen trying to find the pickles.
I know, and then, like,
Which
his
isn't
dad's
that
like,
funny.
you look like Ed Sheeran. He's like, I am Ed Sheeran. Oh. I thought Ed Sheeran acted like he was vastly superior to everyone else in this movie, too.
Maybe, I don't know. But it was just, it was supposed to be his way, I guess, of getting Jack, into the world. But, like, it just, I don't know. I felt like he didn't need a place in this movie. I felt like maybe they could have done that better, a little more tastefully. It has Ed Sheeran, so like, oh my goodness, it has Ed Sheeran. We gotta watch this movie now.
It's true.
That's just kind of what it felt like to me.
I felt like another thing that was kind of not as well fleshed out as I would have liked was whatever the guy's name was that was like the skinny nerd whose house
Oh.
Jack recorded in. What was his
Yeah,
name?
I don't
Keith?
remember.
No, not
Maybe. I don't remember.
Whatever. I felt like that was weird, too. Because, like...
It didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, because, like, Ellie and him kind of had some sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Where they were, like, dancing weirdly with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, that just felt kind of like part of the vibe montage.
Yeah.
Like, they were both pumped up about the music.
Yeah.
And then she all of a sudden calls him one day out of the clear blue and is like, so-and-so, I'm just going to call him Keith. I don't know if that's his actual name. Keith, that puts me in the right box. The love of his life box or whatever she said. And I was like, but he literally looks like he's like 10 years younger than her. And Also, we didn't really get any sort of foreshadowing for that other than them dancing.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression something might happen there. I just wish maybe there'd been a little more drama.
Yeah, I
that'd
feel
come
like it
from
was.
it.
I know, because literally she's like, yeah, we're like, he's the love of my life, or I'm the love of his life. And then, like, 5 minutes after the ending scene, they, like, are like, we love each other. And then he just sees some other girl, and he's like,
I know.
And he's like,
she's
hi, other
standing
girl.
there in the corner waiting.
I know.
And like, oh, this works out perfectly.
I know, that was weird.
What does this say about your choice in guys, Ellie Appleton?
Apple Ellington. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
What else? The whole bit where he lost his teeth. It was kind of funny, but not funny enough for me to feel like they should have kept with it. Because it's not like it was a consistent joke throughout the entire movie. Like,
I know.
they get it fixed and, like, it's never mentioned again. He gets in an accident with a bus. He loses his teeth. People make fun of it. It is funny. It looks silly. But he talks perfectly normal.
And he's already kind of, like, somewhat unattractive and portrayed as somewhat unattractive.
It's true. But then, like, he gets it fixed. I would have... For me, like, if it had been a constant gag throughout the entire movie, or maybe if he had, like, fake teeth that, like, gave him problems, that would have made it funnier. But, like, the fact that they were like, okay, we'll just do this, of, like, absolute no consequence to the story whatsoever.
I know, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he sang Yesterday perfectly normally while he was missing 2 large teeth. His teeth looked really big, too.
I don't know, they probably overemphasized
Probably. But, like... I know, I'm like watching that, I'm like, no, there's no way you were not whistling and lisping your entire way through that song. He definitely was.
It's true. As far as like the better aspects of it, I like the character of Jack for the most part. I thought it was interesting how they kind of played with him being conflicted about, you know, feeling like he had this weird responsibility towards the Beatles, but also feeling like, you know, like, should he take credit for the songs and be famous because of it, or should he not? And, like, the Beatles, you know, showing up at weird times because he was having a nervous breakdown. I felt like they handled that well for the most part. I was convinced. I felt like the resolution of that was corny. They're like, well, I didn't write the songs. These 4 guys wrote the songs, and we're going to put them on the internet for free. Boop. The end. It's like, oh, okay.
And then, like, everyone's chill. I feel like the ending kind of was a little hasty.
Him declaring his love for Ellie, you know, that's the kind of stuff I don't like. And romantic stuff, like, it's just like, I'm going to announce it to the whole world and have her face on this massive screen in front of thousands of people. I wasn't buying it.
Oh, no, that was a little
I wasn't buying it. I wasn't convinced.
Well, but we had to see her on the big screen be like, she's so beautiful.
Yes.
That's what we had to think.
Is it? The thread of the 2 people being the only 2 people in the world who also remember the Beatles in addition to Jack was an interesting plot choice. I didn't think it was bad, but it was kind of it did feel a little on the corny side and a little convenient that these 2 people happened to be in the same location as Jack at various times and, like, know where to find him and to follow him and get, you know, backstage access. He was
all over the internet, probably, so...
Well, no. The first time Jack sang Back to the USSR, which was as he was becoming big, the one guy was there to see Ed Sheeran.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was the one lady, I guess it was in Liverpool, she just saw him walking, looking at these places. And, like, it was a very odd setup, and I didn't buy it. I thought it could have been fine if they handled it better, but there wasn't a lot of great threads that were tied together. but a lot of funny jokes. The whole Coke thing was funny.
Oh, the smoking thing.
Cigarette Harry Potter.
Yeah, that was funny. I wish I had a cigarette. Like, what's a cigarette? Or what's that? And I was like, the most random things they chose to like not be things people remembered
It's
anymore.
true. How they set that up was very odd. Like the whole world going out of power for 3 seconds, and then like no one remembers. Like I guess that works. Okay, sounds good to me. Moving on. But yeah, 3 is where it landed. Not terrible, but it could use some work. It could use some a little more tightening around or a little more tighter shoelaces, you could say. Yes. So what would you give this for overall content? Where weigh the more negative content against the more positive aspects of the story, or the story as a whole? Was there anything offensive, outrageous, kind of just odd that they put it in there?
I don't really recall anything. There's a couple languages, but not as much as you'd expect from a British film.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some slightly scandalous scenes
Yeah.
that we close our eyes through partially.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing super crazy.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it a 3.
The 3?
Yeah, like I wouldn't watch it with like young kids or even like teenagers.
Really?
Well, I don't know. It was a little scandalous.
Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe older teens.
Maybe. Well, there's a scene where like they're both like ripping off their clothes very violently. And
Is that towards the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, luckily though, you see that coming.
Yeah.
Like you see it coming from a mile away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a little.
And it's not
better
like we see anything; it's just implied.
Yeah. I feel like I'd give it a 4. I don't think there was anything too bad in it. And what was there was kind of few and far between for the most part. Overall, like you said, it was pretty clean as far as language goes. Nothing really very crass in it. There were, like you said, a couple scenes a little more on the scandalous side. But even that wasn't too bad. I'm just thinking of other films that we've kind of given a 3 before and why I wouldn't give this one a 3. I'm thinking of like Elvis or The Social Network. Different types of films, different styles. But even then, like, there was a lot more stuff was heavy-handed. I don't think this quite dips into that territory. But not innocent.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty comfortable with that personally. Okay. So overall for Savannah, we've got entertainment 5. Pretty good. Quality 4. Writing 3.5. 3.5. Content 3. What would you give this overall? Just as a general.
I'd give it a 4, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd give it a 4.
4? Okay. So for me, at entertainment, 4, quality 3, writing 3, content 4. I would give this a 3.5.
Yeah, I was torn between 3.5 and 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite 4 status. It's better than, I would rather watch this than Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget.
Would you rather watch this than A Walk to Remember?
Yes.
If you had to watch A Walk to Remember every day or this movie every day for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Every day of my life?
Yeah.
I'd probably pick A Walk to Remember.
Really?
Because I feel like it's something that... Well, okay, do I have to, like, sit down and watch it? Or is it just, like, something I have to
Both are
play?
bad choices to watch every day. No one wants to watch the same thing every day for the rest of their life.
True.
But
Oh, ooh. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. I'd almost like A Walk to Remember, I feel like would just be a little less of an assault on my senses.
Yeah.
Because this
I mean,
movie-
could we still watch this,
Yeah,
too?
we could.
But, like, one of them we had to watch every
Yeah.
day. Then A Walk to Remember, probably. Because I'd rather preserve this one, like, continue to like it.
Yeah.
And A Walk to Remember, it's a little more of a
Chill movie.
chill movie.
Yeah. This one's a little bit exciting.
But yeah, 3.5. I think it's good. It's not great. It's not bad. But yeah, I was happy with it. I was delightfully surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Delightfully surprised.
Oh.
That's yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Any other thoughts about this?
No, not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. Okay. This does it definitely made me want to watch a Tiki Watiti.
Tiki Watiti.
Tiki Weedy.
I know, I kind of want to watch the Tiki Wakiki's movie again, too.
Yes. Those are fun ones.
What's his actual name?
Taika.
Taika Waititi.
Yes.
Taika Waititi.
Yep, you got it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sure. I'm very sure. But anyway, yeah, I think we're wrapping this one up. But thank you everyone for listening. We hope you've had we've gotten some inspiration to have some more conversation around the movies you're watching, whether it's this one or other movies. Let us know what you thought about this movie and our review of it in the comments. Let us know what you thought about our rating, maybe what your personal rating is. And until next time, good film hunting.